Hello everyone, my name is Shonda and welcome to my channel Under the Needle. So this is going to be a really quick video. When I did my haul video about a week or so ago, I had showed you guys a pattern that I had purchased called Sparrows. And I told you how adorable I thought these little birdies were. So I had mentioned that I was going to be house sitting on Saturday, and so since I was going to be house sitting and kind of bored, that I would just kind of bring my sewing machine with me, and I was going to cut out enough fabric to make a couple of these blocks and kind of see how this pattern is and how these birds look, because this is a pretty labor intensive pattern. It's a lot of little pieces. So I wanted to make sure, I wanted to kind of see how the pattern went together, how the block would come together, and if it would be something that I would be interested in making on a large scale. So somebody just came home. So I packed up my sewing machine to take with me, right? And I get to my destination. I open up my sewing machine case, and I pull out my sewing machine and I start hooking everything up, and then realize that I forgot the power cord. So I was not able to do any sewing on these Sparrow blocks. But it was okay because I had brought other projects to work on, and so I was still able to do some other stuff. I had something that I was doing with a cake mix recipe. That's the next quilt that I'm working on. So I had brought that with me. So I had some that I had already sewn together, and I just had to, cut them apart and tear the paper off. So I spent my time working on that. So since I already had the fabric pre-cut for these Sparrows, when I got home yesterday, I decided to put the blocks together and see. Now I made two identical blocks because that was just easier, right? Because the cutting would be the same. So I could just, cut out two of everything. So that kind of made it easy. So I put the block together, and I really, really like how it came out. I'm going to show you guys. This is my Sparrows block. I think it came out super adorable. I had some leftover batiks. So the bird's body and his is batik, and the half square triangles, the pink part, that's batik. The eye is not, the background is not, and the beak and the tail are not. Those are not batiks. But the bird body and the half square triangle pieces are batiks. So I love how this thing came out. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I'll probably put a border around it, like one at the top and one at the bottom, just to kind of finish it off. In the finished pattern, there is like a row of sashing. So the individual blocks don't have sashing because they're sashing between the rows. So yeah, I think this is adorable. I love this. I don't know when I'll make a full quilt because this did take some time. Because the way this is constructed, you do these half square triangles first, you build those first, and then you put the rest of the block together. So I believe it's 26 pieces. So once you have your 3 finished half square triangles, including those half square triangles, to put this block together is 26 pieces, which was a lot. So I will say, because since I do have an iron next to my sewing machine, and I have a little table that I can use as a cutting board or cutting mat, that did help. The cutting mat I couldn't always use because it's super small, and this is not a small block. So that is kind of what makes it a bit more beginner friendly, or is that the pieces aren't super tiny. So the only really small pieces you have are, I think, this beak. Everything is done stitch and flip, right? So that makes it kind of convenient. So stitch and flip, this piece was like, I don't remember. But I think there was the half square triangles are 2.5 inches unfinished. And I think the smallest piece was like 1 3/4, but there's some larger pieces here. So like this this bird body here is 8 inches long. So on my little cutting mat that I keep on the side is pretty small, and I have a small ruler that I use. So it's like a 5-inch or 6.5-inch ruler. So when I did a lot of these larger pieces, I still had to go ahead and take them over to my normal cutting station and do my cutting there because I needed a longer ruler and a bit more space. But the ironing part worked out really well. So now this pattern is super detailed. I was saying that it's one of the most detailed patterns I've ever seen. Um, there's extremely detailed cutting instructions, and the assembly has 37 steps. 37 steps. And if you think about it, there's 26 pieces in here. So the instructions tell you how to assemble all 26 pieces plus plus the construction of the half square triangles, plus the adding of the sashing and stuff like that. So yeah, let's see. Is the sashing in here? Yeah. No, sorry. It's 44 steps. 44 steps. Now, I'll be honest with you. I did not use all of the written instructions because I didn't have to, because she gives that. I can't show it to you because I'd basically be giving you the pattern, but she has a diagram that literally shows all the cuts of like all the little pieces and where they fit together. So I followed the instructions to see like which units I want to construct first. I did go in order of the pattern, but I did not read the step-by-step instructions of the pattern. It was actually just a lot. But if you are a beginner, I believe that you could put this block together because it does. It is so detailed. It even tells you, like even the pressing instructions, it tells you when to press to the dark, when to press to the light, when to press open. Like there are specific seams that'll say, press this open. So super, super detailed pattern, super detailed pattern. Like this is definitely a pattern worth the money. Like there was no skimping here on the construction of this block. You even get the last page is like a cutout or something that you can cut out, and it has letters all over it, and it has the size of the pieces. So because I don't want to give away this pattern, that would be like horrendous, but letters A through T, and then it tells you, okay, so letter A corresponds to this color, and this is the size of that piece. Letter B, it corresponds to this color, and this is the size of that piece. And then you can clip these to your little bundles. So that does allow you to completely pre-cut out this entire thing and then keep all of your pieces separately in some type of little bag or whatever to kind of keep things organized. Now, as far as time, I did not time myself with the construction of these blocks. I kind of wish I had, but I just didn't. And I was piecing 2 blocks at a time. So I would probably say, it maybe took me 3 hours. If I had to give a rough estimate, 3 hours to put together 2 blocks. So this is definitely not a weekend quilt, okay, at all. So I think what I might potentially do, since this can be made with a few half yards, I think what I might potentially do when I'm ready is I'll just go ahead and cut out the entire quilt and keep all the pieces separate and then do it in order. So I'll put together, because she breaks everything down into units. So say, okay, combine piece A, B, and C and make this unit. And now this is called unit E, right? And then take pieces, B and F and put them together. And now this is unit this, So I could see myself doing that in order. So the first unit, I believe the very first unit that you put together is this piece here. So you literally do a stitch and flip with this and this, and then you iron it, and then you add this. So I could see me doing that for all 24 blocks. Actually, no. I would probably do 12 blocks because this, the way the pattern is written, well, you see how your birdies go in opposite directions. So 12 of the birdies go one way and 12 of the birdies go another way. So I would recommend, I could easily see getting placement and everything mixed up and the piecing mixed up, and the direction of the units messed up. I could definitely see that. That would be extremely easy to do. So I would just say I would probably do 12 that are going facing the same direction. And then, so I would do, so this unit, so maybe one day I would do 12 of this unit. And then maybe the next day I would do 12 of the unit that's going to be facing in the opposite direction. And I'd kind of split it up like that because if not, I could see how that would get super, I could see how that would get super complicated. So that's how I would recommend putting this together. That's probably how I'm going to put it together. When I get time or energy or whatever, when I'm ready, I might just choose, and this is going to be down the line a bit, I'm sure, but because there's a sew along coming up, a couple of them coming up that I want to take part in, and they all kind of fall around the same time. So this is definitely not something I plan to be working on. Right now, my goal is to finish the quilt that I'm trying to finish and get that done so that I can participate in these two sew alongs that are coming up. There is the snow along, which is for the snowflake quilt pattern for modern handcraft. Modern Handcraft made the pattern, and she's doing a sew along for this and her pattern called Asterisks. I don't have asterisks, but I have wanted to make this quilt for a very long time. I bought the pattern, and actually no, I waited to buy the pattern, and then you guys, I mean, if you've watched, I like Jenny, and I like Jenny Doan. So at the end of last year, because I had seen the pattern in one of my groups before, I think it was Millennial Quilters or something like that. I'm not sure, but I had seen it in that Facebook group, and I was like, oh, that's nice. I'd like to make that, but I'm not ready to make it now, so I didn't buy the pattern. And then last year, in the last issue of Block magazine, I see this. So Jenny made one. So I was like, okay, well, now I have to make one too. So I got the pattern. But I really wasn't in a rush to make it. And then I saw that she was having the snow along, and I was like, well, this would be the perfect time. It's broken up into 8 weeks, so I want to do that. And then, my dog, Gudrun Erla, is doing a sew along on November 6th, and I want to do that as well. So I won't be doing Sparrow. I won't be cutting it. I won't be doing anything with this right now. But I was just really excited about it, and I wanted to do a test block and kind of let you guys see. It's super cute, and the fact that it's larger certainly makes it a bit more friendly. I actually did not know the block was this large, and I'm actually quite pleased to find out that it is. Now, I will say that my seam allowances must have been a bit off because this is supposed to finish at, well, the unfinished block is supposed to be, I think is it 8 by 15 and a quarter. And mine ended up being 8 by 15.75. So there's that. But other than that, this is the back. I didn't do a whole lot of pressing open. I think I only had three seams that I pressed open. And that was this long one here and this long one here. and then the one connecting the half square triangles was pressed open. Everything else I pressed to one side. I don't know if that's what she said and everything, but that was what I did. So again, I like this pattern, super well written, extremely detailed, definitely worth the money if you want to check it out. And yeah, that's all I have. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next video.